Josh. I take care of getting rid of all the nasty bugs in here, but I do a bunch of other stuff. I help with order fulfillment, propagation, making sure the water fertilizer levels are correct. And I also do pollination as well, mainly philodendron and anthuriums.
And is this something that interests you just personally?
Mm-hmm, absolutely. I've been a plant person for quite a few years now and love philodendrons. Very recently got into anthuriums, but that's been a lot of fun. And so once we started seeing, we actually started with a stenolobum, the Thaumatophyllum stenolobum. Ryan actually hit that. We were very successful in getting it pollinated, getting everything germinated. It was great. And now we have quite a few of them. But since we started seeing flowers pop up, we actually really wanted to try it out. And Ryan really enabled me to go ahead and start working on that. It's been a lot of experimentation, a lot of research, a lot of experimentation, especially since I personally am not willing to come up here at 2 o'clock in the morning. So I've been trying to work around that, figure out what to do. So in the mornings, what I'll do is come up here, check the flowers, see which ones are open. I've been kind of going between hitting them with pollen that I've either saved or I see on other flowers.
And when you say hitting them with pollen, is it like with a little paintbrush or how are you doing it?
It's very low tech. I just use my fingers.
So you finger the flower.
Pretty much.
I'll have to bleep that one out.
I just hit them with the pollen with my fingers. And either when they're open, again, I've been experimenting on trying to hit it right before it goes into thermogenesis, whenever it's ready to take that pollen. And then, in the morning afterwards, trying to hit it then.
And explain thermogenesis for somebody who doesn't know.
I'm not a huge expert on it. I just know that whenever thermogenesis happens, it's a chemical reaction that occurs within the flower that makes the flower a little bit warmer. It raises the heat. So you can actually feel it. It's not super dramatic, but it is. You can feel it actually be a little bit warm, a little bit hot.
So then it becomes more receptive to pollination.
Yes. So I just go in and hit it. I actually have a flower right here.
Cool. So are you just cross-pollinating anything that is flowering, or are you saying like, oh, I really want to cross-pollinate that with that?
Exactly. So I try my best to hit things that I really want to, I want those specific traits in. What I've been doing a lot lately is trying to hit these more like, solid leaf. It's probably not the best leaf to show, but solid leaf with your more, I don't know if it's fenestrated, but more lobe-y kind of plants, like your distenolobums, which I've had quite a few crosses with, your pedatums, distenolobum, all that kind of stuff. So right now I actually do have a subhaustatum distenolobum cross. I'm just interested in seeing what occurs there.
So you have that. Can you show it to us?
Oh, yeah. So they're very small. We're actually across the greenhouse there. By the way, that Dean McDowell cross is, I believe, tripartitum. I actually hit it earlier with some, I believe it was subhaustatum pollen, but I ended up hitting it too early. Again, I was trying to experiment with hitting it before it goes into.
Obscure parentage, so you think it's...
I believe it's tripartitum because that's the thing that's the pollen I hit it with more recently. But we'll just have to see once it becomes more mature and, the very different plants, we should be able to tell. Again, it's been a lot of experimentation. So many flowers just have not taken. I think that the philodendrons are some of the hardest plants to hybridize with that I've worked with. So over here, we have our mist tent, and back here, I can go ahead and actually pull this one out. This is our subhaustatum distenolobum cross.
Oh
we do have some germinated here.
Very tiny.
Yeah.
You weren't kidding when they said they're tiny.
Yeah, absolutely. This was, I don't have that tagged of when, but I do have it here. This was actually sowed on the August 24th. So it's taken a little bit. Stenolobums, Thaumatophyllum stenolobum took, I think, over a weekend to germinate. And on the other side, I think I might have one of these germinated. Yes. So this is our pedatum distentilobum cross right here. For some reason, I mean, I guess it is just genetics. These are taking quite a bit more time to germinate because they were sowed about the same time.
And what are
within
some
1
of
or 2
the
days.
things that you require to germinate them here? Do you just kind of like keep them in here and this is like a little mist bench? Or?
Yeah. So what we do whenever we harvest the berries. Actually, I can show you some of the berries that we have now.
Let's do that.
This one right here is completely ready to harvest. We actually saw that it was ready yesterday. Ryan saw it yesterday, and we were going to go ahead and get it taken off and processed. So we just go ahead and cut the flower off at the base of the stem. And again, this is just straight distentilobum to itself.
I mean, it looks like, have you ever seen ostrich leather?
Yes.
It kind of looks a little bit like that, but like with smaller goose pimples on
Absolutely.
this. Yeah.
It's very, very cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, one reason why we are so heavy on distentilobum crosses is because this plant puts out so many flowers and consistently. I mean, this has been going since, producing flowers since I believe March, nonstop. So it's very, very cool. You can actually, if you did want to get right here, you can actually see all of the flowers that are.
I would love to do that.
This is definitely one of the things that I had to research, but all I'm gonna do is just push right in and push all of these seeds out right into the jar.
It's very pectinous.
Yes.
So you have to clean off that pectin, basically.
And what we're gonna do after getting all this, or harvesting all the seeds in here, is we're probably gonna let them soak for a while and then just shake it just so much. And that'll help get these membranes off of the seeds. At which point we'll go ahead and process them even more, try to take that membrane off even more, make sure. Because otherwise what that membrane is gonna do is it's gonna rot or collect.
Turn moldy or something.
Turn moldy,
yeah.
and then those seeds are just gonna die off.
I mean, how much seed do you reckon?
Oh, I mean, I'm not quite sure. I know with the stentilobums, we had like 2,000? 10,000, sorry, 10,000 seeds. And I mean, I would guess that this is about the same size flower as the stentilobum, so I would think that it'd be somewhere around there. You know, of course, not all of them are going to make it, but quite a few. And this is actually a pretty long process, but
It's okay.
at some point I will go ahead and halfway through the process of shaking this and trying to get those membranes off, I'll go ahead and strain this out just to clear out some of that clutter.
Yeah, do you ever have to change like the water out or anything?
Yeah, especially if I'm letting it soak for a really long time. I just want to make sure it doesn't, those seeds don't start to break down. It can happen, I know it definitely can happen with anthurium seeds, where after a while just soaking in water, they do start to turn into mush a little bit. So.
Approximately how long do you take the time to soak? Like, is it a couple days? Is it a week?
Yeah, 1 or 2 days. And with these distentilobum flowers, they probably took 3 or 4 months to actually, ripen and be ready. I mean, I pollinated those back in, I believe, March, so quite a bit of time, which is strange. I usually, so far with the other crosses that I've had, it only takes maybe at most a month, sometimes only 2 weeks. So it depends on the plant itself. I think that might be it. Looks pretty cleaned off. I think these are just the caps on those berries. Lid on top. Go ahead and label it.
Picture time.
Seeds on my hands.
Tainting.
Yes. Go ahead and get these off, harvest those.
Every seed matters.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, these flowers, they probably should have worn gloves because some of these flowers smell very unique, I would say. One of them, I believe it was a pedatum distillum flower. It actually smelled very strongly of like sulfur, like a skunk smell.
Oh yeah, like mercaptan or something.
Yeah,
and
very rough.
I'd imagine some smell a little like vomit, and depends on who the pollinator is.
Yes.
In this case, it's you, and that's unfortunate.
Actually, the Stinolobum flowers, they're very tropical smelling, almost like a guava. Yeah, guava or passion fruit. It's very, very interesting. I think that's pretty much it. That up. In a little while, go ahead and shake that up, see what comes through, and
then you let it settle, and then you shake it.
It's not a big issue to go ahead and shake it at any point. It's just better to go ahead and let it soak for a long time before I do, because that membrane will start to break down. After we go ahead and process it and make sure the membranes are off, we will sow them into sphagnum moss in these cell trays, which are about 1/2 inch wide. Put them in the tent. We'll let them grow out some, move them just to the mist. And once they're grown up some, we'll move them into pots and hopefully sell them.
Steve Sleeves was gracious enough to give our viewers a special discount code. If you're interested in bringing some of his plants home, you could use the code SUMMERRAIN15 when ordering online for 15% off your plants. Just head over to their website or go to stevesleaves.com/summerrain15. That's SUMMERRAYNE15. And if you thoroughly enjoy the botanical bliss we're producing, then give the video a thumbs up, and we'd love if you would subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell if you want to know when the videos come out. Every view counts because it not only helps grow the channel, but we also donate 1% of our Google AdSense proceeds to plant conservation every year. Additionally, if you'd like to dive more deeply into plant care and maintenance, check out our suite of online courses from plant care spreadsheets to houseplant basics to the Houseplant Masterclass. It can all be found on our websites homesteadbrooklyn.com and houseplantmasterclass.com. Look forward to seeing you in the next video.